Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Ask WealthBankers on the WealthBankers Career Channel. I'm your host Nana K, and today I'm going to be answering all the questions you sent to us via email. Now, we received a lot of questions and a lot of feedback in our emails. There were a lot. So I decided to just pick 3 and then answer them today. I'm going to look for a more appropriate time, probably a much longer period, and I'm going to go through at least 5, 6 or even 10 questions. The thing is, I know a lot of you are not going to watch to the end, so that is why I settled on 3 questions now. Now, we're going to go right into the topic we have at hand. Now, there are 3 questions. One is from South Africa, the other one is from Ghana, and the last one is from Cote d'Ivoire. So, without much ado, let's begin. The first question I had was through an email, and it says, "Hello Nana K, hello. I am a Kenyan schooling in South Africa. Even though working in South Africa seems like a cool idea, I am a Kenyan through and through. I would like to go back to Kenya and work when I graduate. Is it possible to apply for a job in Kenya while still schooling in South Africa?" Phoebe Oduya, South Africa. Okay, Phoebe, I thank you very much for the question. And the answer is yes, you can apply for a job in Kenya while still in South Africa. It's possible. But then the question is, if you are still schooling and you are applying for a job, if you apply for a job in Kenya, and let's just say you are called for even an interview, are you going to fly from South Africa and go all the way to Kenya for the interview and come back? How are you going to juggle that with school? It's a different situation if probably say you're about to graduate, you're just left with a few weeks or months to graduate, and you want to go and work in Kenya. Then you can apply for a job in Kenya. The fact that you are a Kenyan national alone guarantees that your chances of getting a job is quite high. If you were South African, on the other hand, applying for a job in Kenya, it would be difficult because you are most of the jobs that are based in countries, or most jobs that you come across in certain countries, are specific to nationals. So if you're a South African applying for a job in Kenya, unless it is stated in the job description that the people that are wanted they want people from international other countries and stuff, then yes, you can apply. But if that is not the case and it's open to only nationals, then you cannot apply. But if you are a Kenyan living in South Africa and you apply for a job in Kenya, yes, your chances of getting it are quite high. You can actually do it. And there are so many places and so many ways to apply for jobs in Kenya whilst in South Africa. And I'll go with WealthBankers Job Arena, so you can go and check it out. The link is in the description below. So visit WealthBankers and you're going to find a lot of job opportunities in Kenya. You can also find job opportunities in South Africa. Now, this is not limited to only Phoebe or any Kenyan in South Africa. It applies to everyone. You might be living in Uganda, you want to apply for a job in South Africa. If you are Ugandan applying for a job in South Africa, it's not going to be that easy unless the job states that you are any national is welcome. But if you're applying and it says only nationals, then I don't think you can apply for the job. So I hope I answered your question, Phoebe, and any other person who thinks along the same line as Phoebe. The second question that I had, now this is a very lengthy one, but I took my time to go through it so that you can all understand where the message is coming, the whole gist of the message. So it says, "Hi there. I came across your channel yesterday and I must say, I enjoyed watching you guys. Thank you very much. We enjoy having you watch us. I mean, we're here for you guys, so yeah, we're grateful. I also happen to know that you guys have a Q&A session, so I need you to answer a question for me. I recently came across a job ad on an online job portal and quickly applied when I noticed that I met all the minimum requirements. A few days after applying, I got a call from the company saying that I had been shortlisted for an interview. I prepared adequately and went for the supposed interview. The place of the interview looked a bit formal, and you could tell by the setup that something was going to happen there. I joined a few others who had shown up for the interview, and exactly at 9 a.m. the interview started. I was called to meet the panel at 11:23. I know the time because I was nervous and this made me check my watch every few seconds or so. We understand. I walked into the room and there were 3 people sitting behind a table, and I was asked to take a seat at the center of the room. I was bombarded with question after question for what felt like an eternity until it was finally over. It seemed like a normal interview until the end, when one of the panel members approached me and said that I would get the job if I was willing to pay a certain amount of money. I was a bit jittery and nervous and a little confused, so I sort of handed the guy the money. I mean, I wanted the job badly. A week went by and no call from them. A full month went by and still no response. I went online and saw this same company post an ad for the same opening. I was shocked, so I asked a friend of mine to apply. He also went through the same process I did. He was also asked for money at the end of the interview as well. This prompted me that this was some kind of scam that was happening. How do you tell if a job ad is a scam or not? Quarantine, Ghana. Oh my dear Quarantine, I'm very, very sorry. Well, how do you tell if a job ad is a scam? Well, there is no explicit way to actually tell that a job that you're applying for is a scam, unless you're able to pick out certain things. Now let me put this here so that you understand. Let me put this here so that you know. If you apply for a job and they ask you to pay any amount of money, please do not pay. Please, and I'm going to repeat this again, please do not pay. That is one way that scammers use to get to take money from people. So if you apply for a job and it says that you are to pay some amount of money to somebody, please do not pay that amount of money. Now, when you are called by a company, you see a job and you apply for it, before applying for the job, take the time to do some research on the company. Is the company registered? Does it have an online presence? Do they have an office? Once you have all these things, you've done the necessary research, you will know if the company is a legitimate company or not. If the company is not registered, yes, you can assume that probably it's a startup. So if it's a startup and they don't really have a presence, maybe they're not registered, they are just sort of working, trying to climb the ladder and all that. But the thing is, most businesses should be registered. Before they start, they should be registered. So if they are registered, then you know that you are sorted. But if they are not registered, then it's a 50-50 thing. You are either going for someone who just wants to start a brand new business, or it's likely going to be some form of scam. Now, once you go for the interview and you get there, and just look around, just try to appreciate your surroundings. Where are you having the interview? Are you having the interview in the company's premises, or it's a rented place? Now, we all know that companies sometimes do go and rent places to organize interviews, and that is probably because maybe they do not want the applicants or candidates interfering with the work that is going on or something, probably just so that the people that are reviewing them would not have any or much distractions. It's perfectly normal for that to be done. So just pay attention to your environment. Is that place where you are, is it a company's place of operations, or did they just rent the place? If they rented the place, just try and see if you can find out if they have an actual office where they operate out of. Once you have knowledge of all these things, it's very easy for you to progress. Now, like I said, if they do ask you, if after the interview anyone approaches you and tells you to pay some money to increase your chances of getting the job, if you meet the requirements or you are above the requirements, then there's no need for you to pay any money. Maybe yes, you can say that maybe because I'm below it, I'm going to pay some money. Well, there's a name for what you're going to do for that thing, for paying money to somebody for something that you don't deserve, and that is called bribery. You are actually bribing someone to get something that you don't deserve. Now, I understand that companies do recruit people who don't meet the minimum requirements from time to time. Now, the thing is, companies look at these people and see that they have the potential, or they are capable of doing more than what their CV or resume says. That is why these companies recruit them. If you're not up to, or you don't meet, or you're not above the standard, and you don't get the job, fine, you can always apply. There are so many jobs out there that you can apply for. But don't pay for any job. If they tell you by paying you are going to increase your chances, don't do it. Because that is one way that they use to scam people. Granting and Co, I hope I have made myself clear, and I hope you understand me. And also finally, if you come across a job ad like that and you realize it's a scam, inform the job board by email or probably through inquiries or complaint section. They do have most job boards I know of have customer service. They are online most of the time, and they have phone numbers that you can call. You can call them if you reside in the same country with them, or probably you can reach them through other means, probably email, and let them know that this job ad is a scam. They will do their own independent research or investigation and find out whether or not the job is a scam. And then also report to the police. Now, the local law enforcement is going to take charge because what they are doing is practically a crime. It's fraud. And so because of the nature of it, once you report to the police will take it up from there. Okay, so I hope I've dealt with the scam aspect of it. Now I'm going to move to question 3, and that's my last question for the day. This question starts, it says, "Hello Nana K, I visited the WealthBankers job arena website yesterday and I realized that my country was not part. I am an Ivorian and a classmate of mine in Ghana said that that was where he found his job. I want to know when you are going to come to Cote d'Ivoire because I need a job badly. Helena, Cote d'Ivoire." And she sends it with a PS, says, "I school in Ghana." Okay, Helena, thank you for your question. I just have one answer to your question, and that is I'm not in a position to tell you whether or not we're going to be coming to Cote d'Ivoire anytime soon. That's because I don't have the answers to that question. It's a decision that is going to be taken higher up, and once that decision is made, I know I and my colleagues will do well to let you know. But currently we are in 19 African countries. Most of these countries are English-speaking countries. We do plan to reach out to other African countries in the near future. But as to when the exact day or time is, I am not going to be able to give you that information because I don't have it. But just know that once we get the opportunity to come to your country, we will let you know. Remember, there are a lot of things that we have to deal with, legal issues and all that. But once we're able to deal with all those things, we will make it available in your country so that you can be able to apply for jobs. Now, in the meantime, if you want to apply for jobs, I know that you're reaching us because probably the other job boards in your country have failed you, and I understand the frustration. You can also apply for job opportunities by visiting companies. So if there's a company you would want to work with, probably you can start considering startups as well if probably the big companies are not willing to employ you. But then you can also find a company that you want to work with. Go to their website. Sometimes they do have job opportunities on their site through their careers page. Some may have internship opportunities. Do not hesitate to take advantage of an internship opportunity that may come your way. I mean, yes, you can use an internship as a way into getting into the company. Or you can just apply for a job itself and then you can get it. So try and find as many companies as possible. If you can find a few startups that you know have great potential to go into something big, yes, you can consider them as well. And then apply for these companies. Apply to these companies. Okay. So this Helena's question brings us to the end of this Q&A session. I'm glad to have been able to answer your questions. And there were so many questions. We had hundreds of questions. And I mean, out of the 100, I could only pick 3. So I'm going to look for other opportunities to answer your questions again. So with that, we bring today's episode to an end. I'm your host, Nana K, and I look forward to seeing you later. Salute.